I'm the one who's got to rein it all in, remember? I'm like the daddy.
Oh, good. It's fun.
It's got to make sure you behave. Right, you ready for this?
I'm ready. Where's the other knob?
It's here.
Is it in the right place?
Yeah, I think. Hi everyone, this is the 18th episode of the Inexperience Points Podcast.
18, that's a good number, isn't it?
Yeah, we've come of age, haven't we?
We're legal.
It's taken fucking long enough. Probably getting on for 18 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, here we
old
are.
Enough to do porn now. So that's good.
Yeah.
The Inexperience Podcast.
Inex Porn, that's got a nice ring to it, hasn't it?
Mm.
Anyway, I'm James, Jimmy the Pap Shepherd.
Hi, James.
Hi, and I'm here with my co-host, Chris the McCormick.
Hello all.
Shall we jump into talking about some video games?
I actually don't think we should today.
Oh, okay. What should we talk about instead?
Well, we had an important question last time, didn't we?
We did, and it's been leaving me in suspense ever since. So, do remind us, what was it again?
Well, we were curious as to whether it's possible to get a boner whilst in surgery under anaesthetic.
I do remember this, yes.
And I asked a valuable source, and the answer was it would be
Wikipedia?
unusual. No, it was a real person.
A real person?
Who surgeonises people.
Okay, so he should know.
He commits surgery.
And yeah, he said it's unlikely then.
Mm.
Oh.
But that's not impossible.
But not impossible.
So it could happen.
Could happen. So you can try.
I wonder if it happens ever in, like, erectile dysfunction
What?
surgery.
Oh. Is that even a thing?
No, I don't think so.
Just put a metal rod in your dick. Anyway, video games. What video games have you been playing? Any penis-related games over the past couple of weeks?
No, there's been no cock-related games.
Okay.
But we've played one together, haven't we?
We have.
Which was a nice change, because we don't often play together.
No. So,
Well,
that's been nice.
We do. We occasionally dabble. We dabble with Overwatch, but we strayed off
We did.
the beaten path.
Tried something a bit new, a bit different.
Well, new for me, but
Yeah, not so new for me. So that was League of Legends, wasn't it? Which was interesting. I played it years ago, never properly got into it, but hadn't played it for a long time. Due to your current injury, you wanted something you could play with just one hand.
I suppose, yeah, more than just my banjo string.
So yeah, League it was. What did you think?
I enjoyed it. It was simpler than I expected.
Oh, you expected more complexity, were you?
It was mainly just clicking, wasn't it? And then
Lots of
occasionally pressing a key.
Yeah.
But
Kind of sums it up, sort of.
I already felt very familiar with it because I dare say Smite rips it off.
It does.
And we've played Smite before. And obviously, when we played it, we used to play 3-on-3 and the Battle Arena mode. But there is also
The
this
proper kind
lanes
of MOBA
one.
mode,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Conquest.
me and Dan did dabble in that every now and again.
So yeah, you had a bit of familiarity there. It wasn't beer on the table.
Sorry.
It wasn't a completely new experience for you then.
No, it was very similar, which is probably testament to how much the Smite people rip people off.
Well, MOBAs all have the same kind of ideas, don't they? I mean, League wasn't the first MOBA. Like one of the first was the first Dota, wasn't it? Dawn of the Ancients or something? Defense of the Ancients. That was one of the first back in the day. Dota, you heard of that one?
Yeah, I've heard you mention it.
Dota 2 is now the one that people play.
Right.
But Dota was one of the ones that started it all. It was a Warcraft mod.
Really?
So, yeah, that was years ago.
Yeah,
Not World
a bit
of
like
Warcraft.
Counter.
Warcraft's RTS.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a new thing for you in that it was PC gaming as well, I guess. You've not done much of that, have you? Is that right?
No, I barely play anything on. I think the last thing before that I played on PC was Typing of the Dead.
Oh, Typing of the Dead Overkill.
Yeah.
That was good, wasn't it?
Oh no, I did play The Grandfather.
Of
course.
Yes. How can you forget?
But yes, I don't play much on PC, but we decided to give that a go. And I'd say it didn't feel like a completely new experience, but I enjoyed it. It was sociable. I only played a few of the characters, but I always like a game where there's a big range of characters.
How enthusiastic do you feel about getting back into it? Do you think you'd carry it on? Because you've got some exciting news to some extent, haven't you, with your injury?
Yeah, so I've now got 2 hands,
which is always good.
Yeah,
got your cast off today.
Two fully working hands. Well, gaming wise, 2 fully working hands.
So you now don't have to rely on the one-handed game. So do you think you'd go back to League, or?
I think I would if I would. I don't think I'd play it on my own. I think if you and a few others were on it, but I'd choose Overwatch over it any day.
Okay, that's fair.
If you were like, oh, should we play Overwatch or League?
Like, always Overwatch.
Yeah.
Unless we keep getting teamed up with noobs.
Yeah.
Which happens a lot.
Yeah.
But hey ho. Well, good to get your opinion on that. Cheers for that. I enjoyed getting back into it. It's been a long time. I just picked my old favourite, Garen. He's a spin to win guy. He's just a warrior. He just presses a button and he spins around and kills everyone. It's really good.
He's the comically cheesy guy, isn't he?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah.
He's good.
Obnoxious twat he is.
Yep. Suits me well.
Full of his own shite.
So that was League. What have I been playing? I'd like to talk about another PC game, actually.
Would you?
I would. Something that was new to me. I'd heard quite a bit of chitter-chatter about it on the old interwebs. It's been pretty popular as of late, and that's PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds.
Ah, yes. So I know this one, and I'm very upset that I can't play it.
Yeah, you should be upset. You're missing out. It's now got... I think I saw an article the other day that it's now sold 5 million copies, which is pretty incredible. It's early access still.
I was going to say, I didn't even realise it was released.
No, early access, 5 million copies. A lot of games, it would be a dream for them to ever sell 5 million when they're fully released, let alone when they're still in beta state.
The thing is about this game is that it just shouldn't have taken this long to make. Like that concept of a battle royale, essentially. Like they've done Battle Royale, the film itself.
Yeah.
And then obviously there's Hunger Games, it's a very similar concept. There's a WWE one, which is a very similar concept. This has been around in films for years, and everyone's always thoroughly enjoyed it. I don't understand why that it's taken till now for there to be essentially a Battle Royale video game.
It seems like a no-brainer, doesn't it?
And it clearly is a no-brainer, because it's worked an absolute treat before it was even finished.
So just a quick summary for those who aren't familiar with it. As Chris says, it's a battle royale. There's 100 players in a single game. You're all airdropped on a massive map, a massive island. You parachute down and you basically hunker down, find buildings. You go looting around for gear, get yourself equipped with lots of guns and armour.
Do you start with anything?
No, you start with nothing except clothes.
Yeah. So you are literally. So I suppose, is there a luck element where you land?
Oh, absolutely.
Because I do like that. In Battle Royale, I did enjoy the luck element that you got a random weapon. So you might fall in with a gun if you're lucky. You might fall in with a sword. You might fall in with a helmet or a bulletproof vest. Or you might get a fucking fan. Or that element. So I do like that. Yeah, there is that luck that if you land somewhere and you happen to find something good, or you might be fucked, and then.
Yeah, and it's good because there's the luck element, which really adds a lot more suspense to it and mixes everything up because you never know what you're going to get. But there's equipment really isn't that sparse. There are so many buildings. It is such a huge map that even with 100 people, there's still plenty to go around. Even if you can't necessarily get the best gear, you can still get something that's half decent, as long as you explore around a bit. And in fact, within a couple of buildings, you'd probably find enough stuff to, make you okay and capable. So
give me an example. Say you're playing it. What would you be looking to grab before you felt confident going out fighting?
So what you want to be looking for is some armour, a bulletproof vest, a helmet, a backpack so you can store more stuff, some health kits so you can get like first aid kits, bandages, stuff like that. And then guns wise, sniper's obviously quite good. Although I've not really had much experience with them. I don't seem to have had much luck getting those. But stuff like assault rifles and also a shotgun can be good.
Is it very COD-esque in how quickly you die? Is it like, one-shot kill kind of thing?
No, it's not one-hit kill. You've got a little bit more chance than that. You're not exactly like bullet sponges by any means, but you don't die instantly.
The usual health system nowadays where if you run away you recover?
No.
So you've got a health bar?
Yes.
Old school?
Yes, it is a bit more old school. And yeah, so that's what your bandages and your first aid kits are for. And in fact, most of the health items don't heal you above 75%. So,
which makes sense if you've been shot on the battlefield.
Yeah.
You're not going to be feeling dandy because you've stuck a bandage on it.
Well, no, exactly.
I've bandaged the bullet in.
All better.
In there. Yeah.
All healed.
Stuck a bandage on my bleeding heart. I'm fine.
I'll tell you what though, it is an excellent game. It's still a little bit rough around the edges, but it's very much playable. I've pretty much never bought an early access game unless it just came in a bundle or something.
So how much did this cost you?
Normal price is about £28. I got it on sale for about $18.19 from like a good old grey market key reseller.
And that'll just keep getting updated as the game goes on.
Oh yeah.
And then full release.
Yeah, and I feel confident about this one. It's so popular. The team seem, so on it that I'm very confident that the game will be completed and, will reach a good standard. It's already a good standard. I mean, what I like about it is it's in a weird way, it kind of feels nostalgic. Even though as you say, there's never, at least to my knowledge, there's never really been a battle royale game like this. I think
certainly not a popular one if there has been.
No, I think it might have originally been a mod for Armour. So I think that's how the guy started, is he just made a mod for other games that was probably like battle royale style, and then he made his own game. But just the way the game feels, even though it's modern enough, it feels kind of old school. Like, I don't know how much you'll be able to appreciate this, but more kind of old school PC gaming, where you come across all these unusual games and mods, and the games felt a little bit rough, but you kind of, there's also a lot of fun to them and a lot of surprise and unpredictability. I'm thinking back to kind of like Half-Life 2 mods and stuff like Gary's mod, and there were weird permutations of that.
Counter-Strike, isn't that was a mod?
Well, yeah, Counter-Strike was originally a mod, quite right. And yeah, it just feels a little bit nostalgic in that. So it's hard to put it fully into words, but it's just a very different experience to what you'd expect from a AAA game nowadays. With a Battlefield, with a COD, a Halo, or a Destiny.
Which, in my opinion, is a good thing.
It is a good thing.
I'm not a massive fan of any. Well, I can't really speak for Battlefield because I haven't played any. But the other franchises, I'm just not a fan.
No, and don't get me wrong, I am. I enjoy COD and Battlefield and everything else, but nowadays that seems to be one of the only ways to get a successful first-person shooter, is to be one of the big guys with a massive budget and just pumping out essentially the same game. Loads of set pieces. So the same game like every year, kind of reskinned. Whereas this is something that's so different and just kind of rough around the edges, but in a charming way. Really enjoy it. It's very good. It's I've not really felt this kind of exciting new sort of addiction to a game for a while. Like, pretty much every day since I bought it, I've been having a couple of matches. It's just so enjoyable. Because you know that you're very unlikely to win, but you kind of accept that, and that's part of the fun, in that you just try and do as best as you can.
Is there any sort of achievement or experience or anything like that? Do you get anything for competing, even if it's cosmetic?
Oh, so is there anything persistent?
Like a sort of ranking system or anything like that?
Currently, there's no ranking system.
So you're just going in completely fresh every game?
Yep. The only thing you can get is you do build up like currency, which you can use on loot boxes for just cosmetic items.
Which is fine. Just to
that's absolutely fine.
So do you customise your own character?
Yeah. But at the moment, there are very limited customization options, but it's something that they're working on.
So you've made a Metro guy?
Well, no, I wasn't allowed to, because it was just very limited.
Oh, yeah.
So when
I totally enjoy that. You just completely Metro guy gunning people down.
Super stylish.
Yeah. Not putting the helmet on because he doesn't want to mess up his head.
Oh god, yeah, absolutely. It's important. So I'm looking forward to being able to do that. Yeah, I'm really excited to see where the game goes, because at the moment there's only one map.
Yeah.
Limited customization options.
Are they thinking of doing more? Is that
yeah, I think they're working on a second one at the moment. But you'd have to play the game for a long time before you get bored of that map. It's so huge. And I mean, one important mechanic which I've not even explained is, as the game goes on, you've got a radius, a circle, which gradually reduces in size, and you need to stay within. So
what happens if you go out of it? If you blow up?
You start to lose health. And as the game goes on, that gets worse and worse.
Is there a context to it? Is it like a virus? Or
It's like an electric field. Just like, electricity. So it kind of zaps you and zaps your health. Even though I've played it for quite a while, I've never actually been caught outside of it. But I hear that, at least to start with, it's not too bad. But as the game goes on, it just will kill you pretty quickly. So you really don't want to be there. But as much as I can, I just hide in corners. And one thing that's really funny that I do a lot now is hiding in bushes, just in a shrub. So I just sit there in a shrub. And you can literally...
just wait for a load of people to die.
Yeah, you can literally sit there for like quarter of an hour at a time.
It doesn't sound that fun. You just go make a cup of tea.
You wouldn't think so. Well, I just have a bit of a read, browse the internet. It's weird. Like, it shouldn't sound like it's fun, but there's just something weirdly enjoyable about it. And maybe it will get old eventually, but...
It almost sounds a bit, what's the word, like a peeping... voyeuristic.
Oh,
I just sat there watching other people going about their business and dying in some cases.
No, so I love hiding in shrubs. In fact, I've taken quite a few screenshots. I'll upload those of me hiding in corners.
Well, you've enjoyed it so much that you've started doing it in real life, haven't you?
I was doing it before, mate. Outside people's houses.
You've always liked
keep getting in trouble.
It's frowned upon, if not illegal. If it's a public bush.
Well, true.
If it's someone's personal bush, then that's not.
Yeah, you shouldn't be entering people's personal bushes without permission. That is highly frowned upon.
Now, I know you might be tempted to move on, but I've got a few questions.
Okay.
Firstly, we've got the idea of this electrical field, but is there any context to it? Is there any reason why we know these 100 people are fighting in a big battle?
I'll tell you what, I can't answer that. I don't know of any context for it. Whether there's going to be an explanation in the final game, then, it's possible. But so far, I've not seen any reason for it.
Okay, so that's my second question. Fun. Final game, do we know when it's due to be released?
By the end of the year is the current estimate, which isn't too bad. It's not been out for ages. And early access games can be out for years and years and still not finalised. So we'll see. It's already been pushed back once. But that's just standard.
But and
as I say, it's very playable at the moment. So as it just gets
Not really
better,
losing
then it's just a
anything,
bonus, really.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking that with Gwent. Like, apparently when that's released, it's going to be this whole massive single-player mode and all sorts.
Is there really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's supposed to be really good.
That'll be pretty Gwent, won't it?
It'll be so Gwent. Anyway, last question.
Last question, please, go ahead.
How long, on average, does a fight last? 100-man royale.
I've never timed it, and I've never reached the end. The best I've got is like the 11th one, surviving.
That's pretty good.
I'd say around half an hour-ish.
Yeah.
It's a good length. Like,
What do you
considering...
do if you die early? Do you just go...
Thankfully, you don't have to sit there and watch everyone. You just quit.
Quit and go in another game?
Yeah, you just jump straight in. And, I mean, with 5 million people having bought it, there's so many players that literally you just match make instantly. Even though in another game, like finding a game with 100 players ready to go, like, and obviously you can't join partway through. You have to join at the start, because otherwise that would be completely unfair.
Oh yeah, that'd be bollocks, wouldn't it?
But yeah,
it'd be like a WWE Royal Rumble.
Oh, it would, wouldn't it?
Runs in.
Yeah, just running halfway through.
The last guy, yeah, fresh as a daisy.
So yeah, thankfully with the amount of players, it's fine. You just jump straight in another one, so it's great.
And I couldn't play this on my gaming laptop.
I wouldn't risk it in its current state because...
What, the laptop?
Well, no.
I haven't spilt anything on it this time.
No, I'm a bit worried about how you're holding that beer close to it, I must admit.
It's pretty much empty.
Yeah, okay.
It's not.
Yeah, we're on the beers again, for better or worse. No, while it's still in development, because it's a little bit laggy on my gaming computer, so I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay.
Anyway, that's been a long discussion of PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. I love it.
I think it was.
It.
I think it was
It's
necessary.
amazing.
I think it was needed.
But we'll move on. What else have you been playing?
So there's only been one more for me this past few weeks, which you guys at work kindly bought me, which was Shadow of Mordor.
Ah, yes.
Now, this game always intrigued me. I always liked the sound of it. Which is weird because I'm not really a massive Lord of the Rings fan. I've seen the films, I haven't read the books.
No.
I think one of the reasons I really like Game of Thrones is because I really like the whole fantasy setting and this, that and the other, but I always thought Lord of the Rings was a bit dumbed down. It's almost like too nicey.
Really?
Yeah. Well, even with all the fighting and stuff, there was never, in my opinion, any real blood or gore or anything realistic for... Well, I know that sounds daft to say, talk about fantasy, but... Do you know what I mean? Like... I never found it like graphic, considering people were butchering each other.
So you wanted more gore, more gratuitous violence.
Well, not gratuitous. Just I think almost with Lord of the Rings. Well, I can't really speak for the books, but with the films, I imagine they purposely did that so more people could watch it.
Oh,
so it's like people are getting shot with arrows, but there's no blood.
Yeah, sure.
There's no bad language. There's no.
Okay, so it wasn't necessarily the actual setting and what was going off that was all friendly and lovey, was it? Because it was still like fighting against the ultimate evil and huge battles and loads of people getting murdered. But you're saying just the fact that the film was censored to be fairly family friendly.
Yeah, but that aside, I still find it quite boring.
Okay.
For whatever reason.
But this you're much more into, are you?
Yeah, so this was really refreshing. Like, it's based after, as far as I'm aware, I don't really know Lord of the Rings lore at all, but I think from the start it said it's based quite a long time after the films. The story is relatively straightforward. You're a minor spoilers, it's all at the start. It's a revenge story. You're a guy. Your family, well, by family I mean your wife and child, are killed by Black Hand of Sauron, I think he's called.
Yeah, something like that.
He's somebody who's working for Sauron, who for some reason is potentially back. You're in Mordor, unsurprisingly.
Yeah.
And strangely, You do die, but you're kind of banished from death, I think is the way. You get tied to a wraith elf, who is a very handy person to be tied with, because not only does he stop you from properly dying, he allows you to get revenge and also gives you a load of awesome powers.
Which, if you're going to go, is a pretty good way to go, isn't it?
Well, this is it. I don't even think he's gone. I think, well, it's a very interesting concept because you're essentially kind of undead.
Yeah.
Even when you die, and I'm kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but one of the most interesting things about this game is when you die, you respawn because you can't die. You just respawn but all the dynamics of the game change. So I'll dial it back a little bit. So you're basically on a revenge mission with this elf Wraith who you don't even know who he is or why you're tied together, because he's got no memory, so he can't bloody remember anyway. But he's like, oh, we're stuck together, so we might as well work together, kind of thing. So you run around and there's orcs everywhere. Sorry, not orcs. They're called Auruks.
But they are orcs.
They're orcs. But,
they're orcs.
But they talk and stuff. And there's loads of usual grunts, but there's also captains and war chiefs. And I haven't fought a war chief yet. They're like the big bosses. But there's loads of these captains. And you essentially, amongst all the story missions and every other sort of missions, are taking down these captains. And I don't know whether they're randomly generated names or what. I'm pretty sure they are, because there's stuff like Ratbag the Coward and so-and-so the Rock Crusher and Grunt the Twin and so-and-so the Flayer and I don't know, Torch Face or well, he's not one, but there's all sorts of these like descriptions for them. They're all someone, the something, and they're all knocking about across the open map, and it's essentially your job to go and fight them and kill them. And back to my original point, if you die, they get promoted for killing you because the Uruks hate you. You are this badass ranger. So what's his face? What was he called? The main ranger in Lord of the Rings.
Oh God. The
black-haired one.
Yeah. Oh wow, I can't remember his name.
Not Legolas.
No, not Legolas. Well, whoever. We everyone knows who we're talking about.
Not
Just draw
Gandalf.
a blank.
Not Frodo. Not Gollum.
Bilbo.
Not Bilbo. Not Sauron. Not Salamon.
So that's all the other characters.
The King. The Return of the King.
Dunno,
He
mate.
turned out to be the king, didn't he?
I think so.
Him.
Yeah.
He was a ranger. That was the point.
Yeah.
I think. Well, you're a ranger. Like him.
Like him.
Talion, I think you're called.
Yeah.
And so you've got all these skills, and like there's so much going on. It's a big open world, and you've got all these captains to fight. And if you defeat them, then you get power points that you can invest in other skills and stuff. But also, this army is constantly changing around and having internal struggles and this and the other. And then, but there's so many different ways to fight them as well. So you've got stealth. You've got these beasts running around that you can jump on and hide.
Yeah, that's always good fun. Yeah. I enjoy that.
You're jumping all over. It's got a real Assassin's Creed vibe to it as well. So you can jump all over the place. You climb the walls really well. So much so that Hyam was here yesterday and he was watching it. He was like, is this made by the Ubisoft guys? Because this looks very Assassin's Creed-esque.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's not. But yeah, there's that whole style to it as well. And then there's the up-close combat, which is really fun. There's like loads of combos and takedowns and ground kills and executions, and the longer you play, you can invest in different skills as well. So that only goes up and up, and you've got 3 different weapons. You've got your dagger, which is good for like killing people off and stealth kills. You've got your bow, which is obviously a sword, and these have all got upgrades as well that you can add in. So you've got things for like critical hits and setting people on fire and all these different skills. And there's all stuff. It's like one of those games where it's just there's just so much to do. you can run around fighting, you can run around completing missions. Like there's, for example, hunting missions and survivalist missions, so finding herbs for survivalists and hunting different wild animals. So it's stuff like the first one, spiders, kill 3 spiders, go find 3 spiders, knock them out.
Yeah.
Then you go up to different stuff. And then there's slaves knocking about, so if you can rescue them, and then they set more missions for rescuing more slaves. They're like human slaves. Then there's intel, and so certain Uruks have information on different leaders, so you have to creep up behind them, stick a blade to their throat and interrogate them, and then they'll tell you where different captains are on the map and also their weaknesses. So all the captains fight differently, which is brilliant. Like so some have swords, some specialise in like bows and arrows with bombs on them, but as I say, they all have strengths and weaknesses. So some, for example, might be immune to stealth, or they might be immune to being shot by an arrow from a distance. They might be immune to executions or takedowns when they're on the floor.
Yeah.
But they might have a weakness that, for example, they're shit scared of caragors, which are the beasts that I was saying about earlier. So if you release one near them, then they turn into like a carrying mess and they leg it off, and then you can just basically pick them off and things like that. But if you don't get the intel first, you don't know that.
No, quite right. So you're just kind of going in blind, aren't you?
Yeah, which can happen as well, because you can accidentally stumble across these guys.
Oh, absolutely. Because it's not the biggest map in the world, is it? Like, it's a decent size, but it's not enormous.
No, as these games go, it's not massive. But the amount of random captains, sometimes you end up in fights with a couple of them at once.
Yeah, that's mental, isn't it? It's always fun.
You just have to leg it sometimes.
Yeah.
But as I say, it's one of those games where you really... It's quite... All the combat and everything is really fun, but it's also not too punishing. So, as I say, if you die, it doesn't really matter. Like, it's interesting because the consequence is that people start getting promoted and demoted and shuffling around Sauron's army. But you don't really beat yourself up and keep reloading and this, that and the other.
No, totally. I get you on that. You can just sit back and enjoy it, can't you? And just keep bashing away at it, and you will make progress.
Yeah. It's the same with the stealth. If the stealth goes to shit, it's not the end of the world.
No, totally.
You just finish it off and carry on. So it's a really fun, satisfying game, and there's a lot to it. And it definitely like scratches that itch in terms of looking for things to do and ticking off things on the map.
Yeah.
But the combat's really fun. Essentially, it's not just like ticking those boxes. It's actually really fun to play.
Absolutely. I'm glad you enjoyed it a lot. It sounds like it was a good purchase for you.
Yeah, I'm a big fan, and I think I'm excited as well because the captains. It's really satisfying taking down the captains. And I haven't even taken down a war chief yet. So
no,
I can't wait
got that
for
to
that.
look forward to.
So that's going to be fun.
Good stuff. Well, I'll finish off this section with another game that I've been playing, and it's a franchise which has been a little up and down in our opinions over the years, and that is Destiny. And in fact, Destiny 2, the beta, this time around. As any long-time listeners will know, we used to rip the shit out of Destiny and say it was crap. And then during our hiatus, we actually played Destiny for a while.
Well, yeah, I think you ripped the piss out of it, telling me it was crap, and I actually played it.
Yeah, and then you actually played it, and you
then
initially liked it, and then you thought it was crap. Is that right?
I still don't know how I feel about it.
No, I'm torn.
I think the problem is with it. I think the problem is I have with it is it's so middle of the road. I think that's the issue. I think if I really hated it, I think I almost hate it more because it's so middle of the road.
You can't say it's complete shit because it's not. It's actually it's a well polished game. It's got good mechanics. At the very least, the multiplayer is good. Like, I see what you're saying. You can't hate it because it's not too bad, but you also don't love it.
Yeah, and I think. I don't know what it is about human nature, but to hear people at work say this is one of the best gaming experiences ever, and then you play it and it's kind of mediocre.
And that's Vault of Glass, by the way.
Yeah, so that specific example is Vault of Glass.
I think we missed the boat a bit, to be honest. We came in late and didn't quite appreciate it. It'll be interesting this time round, because we started after most of the DLC was released. Destiny had gone through a lot of changes. We couldn't really appreciate what it was like before, whereas... I mean, I've pre-ordered number 2 because I got it for a really good deal. Whether you get it at release or not, that's up to you. Maybe wait and see what we think, see what the reviews say.
I think if I did get it, I'd have to play the story on my own.
Okay, sure.
I think we played it together last time, and I just didn't... we rushed through it, and just none of it sunk in. And I just couldn't feel immersed.
Yeah,
in the universe,
that makes sense.
I just felt like we were running through ticking boxes, and half the time I wasn't even ticking the boxes. People were just doing it for me.
Yeah, that's the problem with stuff like that, isn't
it? So I'd be tempted to play it on my own and do Crucible or whatever as a group.
I think that's a good way of doing it. Well, actually, yeah, you do the main missions by yourself, and then stuff like the strike missions and the raids, then you team up with us. And then
remind me the difference between strike mission and raid.
A strike's like a mini raid. A strike's like you need multiple people for it. It's, a multi-person thing, but it's not as full on as a raid. But it's so both of those you obviously need other people. So yeah, I think that would be a good way for you to approach it. If the game is still the same as it was, if it's a similar kind of structure, then that's not a bad way to approach it. I played a lot of the single player by myself, and I'm like you. I like to take my time and not be rushed by everyone. And yeah, when I'm playing co-op, it can be a bit annoying, sort of being led by someone. And bless you.
No, I totally agree, and I think it's something I've always enjoyed with games, just taking my time and just absorbing the atmosphere and getting to know,
because it has some interesting environments, some interesting story bites. Well, I don't know, actually the story is a bit non-existent in Destiny 1, but supposedly they're improving that this time around. So that's what we thought of Destiny 1. Destiny 2 so far is looking to be very much more of the same.
Yeah.
What I'm hoping for, though, is a lot more of the same, because people were very disappointed with Destiny 1 on how much content was actually in the game when it released. People were expecting this massive open universe, and that is not what was delivered. Whereas this time around, it's supposedly going to be a lot bigger. So, well, remains to be seen, really. It'd be interesting to see how that pans out.
With Destiny 1, did they, after those initial complaints, they did basically overhaul it, didn't they?
And the game saw some massive evolutions over time, and some of those you had to pay for, to be fair. So it'll be interesting to see how much comes with the base game for Destiny 2.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to it. As I say, I'm looking forward to starting from the beginning, where everyone's getting the hang of it and discovering everything for the first time, seeing what they've learned seeing what Bungie have learned from number 1 and how they take it into number 2. As I say, it seems very similar. You only play one mission in the beta. Well, one normal story mission. There was a strike as well, but I didn't really have anyone to play that with, so I just played the normal mission. That was
because out of our usual gaming crowd, you're the only one with this, aren't you?
Well, I think Al was playing it, and Libby might have done it at some point, but we didn't really sync up when we were playing it. So
do they play PS4?
Al does, yeah, and Libby sometimes. So,
because we have played with them before.
We have.
Well, I think Libby prioritises Xbox, doesn't she?
Sometimes, yeah. So
or at least
we'll see. We'll see. So yeah, I played the story mission. It was pretty good. It felt very similar to the first, but perhaps slightly higher production values. Even though the first was already good, there's quite a few set pieces. It was very pretty, very interesting environment. Seemed like we're making a little bit more effort with the story and cutscenes. So that was all good. Then I played Crucible, which again was very similar. but one of the main glaring differences I found was that abilities have been drastically reduced. So you remember kind of all the fun stuff, you know, where your big plasma grenades and your like your Nova bombs and your flaming swords and hammers and whatever else that you could do, depending on what class you chose. Well, it seems to have been drastically rebalanced so that you get those a lot less often.
Right.
In number 2, which I feel a bit torn by. It's interesting because it now relies more on just good gunplay, which is fine. It's kind of more skill based, but also kind of what makes Destiny is having all of those abilities and feeling a little bit like a superhero. And if you think back to being, were you a warlock with a Nova bomb?
I had the Nova bomb, yeah. I think I switched and always regretted it because I didn't understand the one I switched to. Whereas Nova bomb was simple.
It is so simple.
Throw it at people and it makes a big explosion.
Firstly, they've tweaked that, which I'm not too fond of. That doesn't work as well anymore. It's not quite as easy to use. But secondly, whereas before in a Crucible match you'd maybe get 2 or 3 uses of your Nova bomb, now you only get like 1. Maybe if you play extremely well, you could get 2. And
so you're really going to have to make sure you make... Because I can imagine fucking playing the best part of a game, getting a Nova bomb and accidentally lobbing off the edge or something.
Actually, yeah, pretty much every time I use a Nova bomb, I fucked it.
Yeah,
and,
which would be extremely frustrating.
It is frustrating, but also it used to be frustrating getting absolutely spammed by grenades, and then you'd have periods where you'd lose several lives in a row to people's ults, people's supers. You just spawn and straight away you'd hit by a Nova bomb.
Well, we get that with Overwatch, don't we?
Well, yeah, true. So it's a bit like that.
It's difficult because everybody enjoys ults, and it's part of the personality of the game.
It is.
And it's part of the difference between characters and classes.
Yes.
But then when you get too much of it, and it's overpowered, then as you say, you're literally running out from the spawn, and you just get fucked, and you're like, this is no fun.
It's a very delicate balance, isn't it?
Yeah. It is difficult.
So I'm tentatively looking forward to number 2. As I say, I got it for a good price, so I'm just going to see how it goes, really. I didn't play the beta too much because I don't see the point of investing too much time into them when it's all wiped, and you just start again anyway. So
it's not happening with Gwent, mate.
No, Gwent's different, so that's nice. That's good. I respect that. Shall we move on? What toilet game have you been playing recently? And how have you found it?
Well, you tell me. You assigned it.
Fine. It's Magikarp Jump.
Magikarp Jump? Yeah. Shit, I was thinking it was Magikarp Splash.
Yeah, we got mixed up there. Because he's well known for his splashing, but in this he's jumping, isn't he?
Yeah.
So, Magikarp Jump on Android. What did you think?
I think I'll start this off by saying this is a very good toilet game.
Oh, okay.
It is literally ideal for the toilet.
Ah.
But it's also one of those games where I'm not fully sure that it's a game.
Right.
Like, I'm not sure what part of it I could say is actually gameplay. Or skill.
Yeah, so you're mainly talking about skill.
Yes, I think I'm talking about skill.
So this is one of those games where you've got to put in the time.
Yes, you're rewarded for time.
Yeah, sure.
And clicking. And that's about it.
Mm.
And that makes it sound more dull than it is.
Okay.
In the sense that it's... it's got this very cutesy art style, unsurprisingly, but it's quite nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's got quite... I wouldn't say... I think depth is probably an exaggeration, but there's quite...
There's a lot to do, is there?
Yeah, there's a lot to do. So... It starts off and it doesn't seem like there's a lot to do. So essentially... you meet some old bastard, and he literally says, "Oh, I'm an old washed up fool. I used to be great at looking after Magikarp that don't do anything except jump, so we made them have jump competitions." It's like, you seem like you've got potential. Do you want to catch a Magikarp? So you catch a Magikarp and you feed it, and everything's based around JP, jump points, not Jason Payton, jump points, and feeding them builds up JP. Training them so they're like punch bags and silly counter shit so you can train your Magikarp, and that helps them jump higher. This sounds as bad as it probably is.
Yeah, I mean, so far you're not massively selling it, but simple games could still be fun, right?
See, this is the problem. I wouldn't say I dislike it, but I also wouldn't really say it's fun.
Sure.
I'd say it's somewhat satisfying.
It's a good time waster.
Yeah.
Which a lot of toilet games are.
Ideal for the toilet. You know, you go in, you feed them, you train them, you take them to jump against other Magikarp, and then after a bit of time, you have to retire your Magikarp. And it's quite cute. You've got a pond, so you keep him, and he stays in the background but you've leveled up as a trainer, so then you go catch another Magikarp. You can level up a bit more than your last Magikarp. But again, one of the most disappointing things to say about this is the battle. The Magikarp battle is literally which Magikarp jumps the highest, and you have no control over it. It's completely defined by the points that you've built up as part of the training. And over time you unlock stuff, like you unlock pets, like you get a Pikachu by your pond that gives you bonuses and things like that, and you get to stick new things in your pond and you get random encounters. But it's all just stats. It's all just adding to your stats, whether it's your money or your JP or your percent earned of something. And it's just a bit of a grind in that respect. But as I say, there's loads to unlock. Like, there's loads of different Magikarp and Magikarp skins, and I actually unlocked a really rare one. It was a gold one.
Oh, very exciting.
I still have to retire him, because it gets to a point where your Magikarp can't be trained up any further than your rank. So you retire him after catch another one, because you've ranked up using that one. And then it's rinse and repeat. Although, funnily enough, despite all the cutesiness and everything else, I actually got one killed. Which I did not expect. Yeah.
I wouldn't have seen that coming.
No.
Pokemon never die, they just go unconscious.
Well, this one, as far as I'm aware, is like, as I say, all the others, once you retire them, you get a new one. They swim around in the back of your pond and you say hello. This one got a random encounter, and it lets you know there's a risk.
Yeah. The
reward isn't that great, it's more JP or whatever. I said, oh, but there is a risk that something bad might... And it was literally, there was a berry. Berry give you JP. It's like, do you want to jump up and try and get it? Magikarp tries to jump up and get it, sweeps in a Pidgeotto, flies off with it.
No way.
And
got eaten by a Pidgeotto?
Yeah, I think so.
Unbelievable.
Unless anything turns up later.
Mate, that's heartbreaking. I'm sorry. Sorry for your loss.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think there's a huge amount more. I think I'll keep playing it, because I think I've got a Magikarp now that's about level 16, and I'd like to know if it will evolve into Gyarados at level 20. Because that's what it's supposed to do, isn't it? That's what it was in the original Pokemon.
We'll see.
I doubt it will.
Probably not.
It won't take me long to get to level 20. But then after that, I think I might park it, because it's getting a bit grindy. And as I say, I don't mind all those elements, but I want a bit of skill as well.
I can understand that.
And I dare say there's no skill whatsoever in this.
Okay. Well, appreciate your input. So, bit middle of the road.
It's a good toilet game. It'll keep you occupied on the toilet. But
cool. Would you like to know what you've got next?
I always do. So,
next up is a bit of a weird title. It's a fairly new release, I believe. It's Hopeless 3 Dark Hollow Earth.
Hopeless 3 Dark. There's so much negativity in that.
Just a bit.
I love that it's the third one as well.
It is the third. I don't know what the first two Hopelesses were like, but this is the third Hopeless.
Well, they mustn't have been that bad.
No, they keep making them.
Yeah.
Doesn't always follow those,
It's like Final Fantasy, isn't it?
Yeah, they made a good few of those over the years. Yeah. I think this is a bit different, though. Would you like to hear the blurb?
I would.
A cute and funny horror game. Exclamation mark.
Okay.
The cute blobs are lost in the limbo of the dark cave.
can't
This
stand
time
blobs.
it's really hopeless. Join the adventure and save as many blobs as possible. Any blob counts. Ride the not-so-powerful car, shoot and push the cruel monsters. Your goal as the blob rescue mission is to reach the next dirty blobby base and escape the dark den.
That sounds really shite, doesn't it?
Well, that's
That's
your
famous
next
last
assignment,
words, isn't
mate.
it? I've gone on to regret my predictions in the past, so...
Yeah, you never know, do you? You could be pleasantly surprised. It may not all be hopeless after all. I'm going to download it. Might give it a go. I did briefly try out Magikarp on the tram home last time. I can kind of understand your opinions on it, but so I only really played it once.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is Hopeless Free. You'll have to let us know next time how you get on with it. Good
I
luck.
will.
Cool. So I'll move on to my feature, and that's Bundly Bollocks from the bargain bin. And
Always a highlight for me.
yeah,
Always.
I'm pleased for you.
I'm always excited at this time.
Well, this week I found what was it called? I think it's called a sushi rice bundle or something like that. Sushi rice anime bundle.
Yeah, that's not...
Anime, yeah. We know where this is going, don't we?
Well,
when
there's-
anime's involved, there's only one way this is heading, and that's straight towards sexy anime ladies.
Well, I don't know if there's any others. There's a sexy anime ladies, and then there's really grotesque fat old anime ladies. There's nothing in between. There's no, like...
It's quite sad, really, isn't it? It's not very representative.
No, I imagine a lot of people are offended by it. But
Yeah, quite rightly so. But anyway,
in Japan, I don't think they care.
I don't know, mate. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm guessing that. I say that because it just keeps going.
It keeps going.
Yeah.
It's just how anime is. And so this one from the bundle was called Pretty Girls Panic.
Right. I always like it when a pretty girl panics.
I know, it sounds a bit dodgy, doesn't it?
Well,
It
it's
sounds
just
a bit
like,
iffy. Would you like to hear the blurb? I particularly enjoyed the blurb of this game, which really made me choose it out of the others in the bundle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Socially conservative sea creatures
Okay.
have constructed a water-filled screen to hide the
Wait,
pretty
it's not
girls from view.
socially conservative.
Socially conservative sea creatures.
Yeah. Okay. Is that just a bad translation?
I don't know, mate.
Or is there like...
No, sea creatures. They're socially conservative. They're hiding the pretty girls from your view. But please don't panic. Use your special tool to penetrate the barrier and reveal the girls while getting caught. Girls will gradually disrobe from stage to stage to reward you for your success.
Yeah.
Now, mate,
Yeah.
this is a quality game from the depths of the Bollocks bargain bin.
So describe these sea creatures. These socially conservative.
Well, sea
What do they
creatures.
look
There's
like?
starfish. There's crabs. There's blowfish, puckerfish.
So am I getting the right impression that these socially conservative sea creatures
Yeah.
don't like anime women being on show?
No.
So they've taken them to keep them
They've
away.
hidden them behind water. What you have to do is you have to reveal the water.
As a socialist, as a socially, what's the opposite of conservative, I suppose?
Liberal.
Yes, liberal. That's the one. Yeah. So you're.
So let's see the anime tits.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, no, I don't want sea creatures taking away my anime tits.
No.
Better get my tool out.
Better get your special tool to penetrate the barrier. So, have you played? You probably have some point along the years a clone of Quicks. I think Quicks was the original game. What it is, there's a grid, it's like a square, and you draw lines across the grid to section off parts of it, and you have to reveal over 75% of the board while enemies try and stop you.
Yes.
If an enemy passes over the line, it kills you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Are you saved when you reach another side? So are you in danger as you're moving, but then when you reach it, cuts it off.
That's it.
And then you save.
So you claim that section.
Yes, I have played that.
Cool. Yeah, I think everyone's played some clone because it's countless ones.
I was going to say, because Quicks didn't ring a bell, but I've definitely played that sort of gameplay. Yeah.
So this is yet another clone of that kind of gameplay. But yeah, it's got the sea barrier, and as you section off parts of the game board, you slowly reveal the sexy anime ladies underneath.
Excellent.
It's pretty fucking atrocious, to be honest. I mean, to be fair, I really love Quicks. It's kind of one of my favourite puzzle games, and that's something which kept me playing. But it's a horrendous game.
A likely story.
A likely story. Nothing to do with the anime tits or anything.
No.
I mean, yeah, it's not even a very good Quicks clone, to be honest. It's a bit ropey. It's a bit rough. And it doesn't control very well. It's very clunky, and the hitboxes are a bit dodgy and frustrating. But that's by the by. But I mean, it's one of those games where quite a lot of these anime games I've played, the sexy anime ladies are in there, kind of as a Brucey bonus. But in this,
which I always thought was worse.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, because like that educational game, like where they were just like,
oh yeah,
like where like if you're going to do it, at least be open about it. Just be like, this is about it, rather than. And you get it with all sorts of games. Like even going back to Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Like they just threw in Tifa, didn't they? Really. Like the whole game was really well made and this and the other, but then they just thought, let's throw in an anime girl with massive tits. Like, which like is a lot more cheap than actually just saying, you know what, this is actually just about the tits.
I mean, that's a fair point. Like, this is very upfront about what it's all about. You are literally playing the game to reveal the anime tits.
Well, knows what it is.
Yeah.
The sea creatures thing is a bit odd, but yeah, you need something.
I know it's a bit of a flimsy premise to justify what you're doing, but that's that. I must admit, it's very easy, and I kind of enjoyed making up my own little challenges, like getting enough of the board revealed while completely not revealing the anime girl underneath. Just stupid stuff like that, or trying to write words in it like twat and shit and stuff, while not getting killed, just because it's just so fucking ridiculous that I couldn't take it seriously.
Yeah.
So you get a bunch of different characters, and in different stages, and as those stages progress, you get to uncover them in like increasingly skimpier clothing.
Yeah.
And it's just disgraceful. I mean, if you like your pervy anime, then power to you.
Yeah,
that's fine. Go for it.
And I find this shit really funny, and I know some people rightly find it really offensive, but it's a common thing in video games, especially more indie niche shit. They get a bit more clued up on it in mainstream.
Oh yeah.
But this whole concept that you save someone or a woman in distress, and she rewards you therefore by losing her clothes. It's like the Witcher 1 got in trouble with, because every woman you slept with, you get a card.
Yeah.
And that horrendous game that you bought me for Xbox, well, you guys at work bought me for the Xbox for my birthday years ago.
Oh, Ride to Hell.
Yeah. So basically in that, there'd be a woman and she was on the verge of getting raped. You'd save her, and she'd reward you by having sex with you.
Fucking
which is horrendously fucked up. And it's the same with this. Like, it's these people have been captured. Okay, it's a fucking farce. But, like, the idea that there's this scenario where these people are in danger and they reward you, the only way they could possibly think of rewarding you is just by taking clothes off. It's just, like, it's just comically ridiculous, but obviously also highly offensive. Yeah.
But yeah, that's Pretty Girls Panic for you. It was.
Highly offensive, misogynistic anime tits.
Tits?
As usual.
Lots of tits, yeah. Like, and there wasn't a single pair of tits that was like realistically sized. It's just...
Well, no.
Obscene.
Did you even get to see nipples or vag?
No, it's...
So you might as well just go play fucking Cluedo and then go jack off to anime porn afterwards, don't you? Like, you know...
It's a good point. It's a good point. Well, I'll see what I can find for next episode. Hopefully something less that.
Well, no, I hope you get more of that. Like, nothing amuses me more than weird anime porn games.
Oh yeah, it's something that's been a recurring theme of Inexperience Points, I'd say. Probably every other episode on average.
Yeah.
I'd say I've played a pervy anime game. I think it's just because they're some of the best, like, shitty bundle games you can find, really.
They're good for thumbnails as well. They get good click-throughs.
Good click-throughs.
Yeah.
Good click-throughs. Cool. That's that. News.
News, yeah. That's usually your job, isn't it?
I don't think we're doing news anymore.
We're not? Yeah, we are.
I mean, fucking hell, this has already been
Doomfist.
10 minutes.
Doomfist is out.
Doomfist is
out on the
Thursday?
27th. So by the time you hear this podcast,
yes, Doomfist will be out.
Doomfist will be out on Overwatch.
We're looking forward to that, just because we like Overwatch.
Yes.
He looks like an interesting character. Probably not one that I would play much personally, but I might be pleasantly surprised. Who knows? He's a bit different to how people expected, because he's not a tank.
Yes, which I'm very happy about, because the last one was a tank, which it was, in my opinion, very boring. This guy seems the complete opposite. Yeah,
so it'd be good to see how it pans out. I've got the PC version. I've never played it. Like, I could have tried the PTR, the public test realm, but I never bother. So we'll just see what it's like when it rolls over to PS4. Should be good.
Not long now.
Not long. Other than that, the news, I can't think of much else. Shall we wrap this baby up?
Yeah, we said we weren't going to mention the baby.
Right. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. This has been a lovely episode. Well, it's been lovely for us. You might have thought it was fucking terrible. If so, we apologise, but
something's keeping you here, all three of you.
All three of us, all three of our biggest fans. I wonder if that guy from somewhere in Europe's still listening. I hope so. Shout out to you.
Well, you should remember his name, shouldn't you?
Tim.
No, go on, get your... No, I'm calling you out. If we're going to do this, if we're going to do a shout out, then we're going to have to do it properly.
I can't remember his name.
Well, you've got the message.
What did he contact me on?
Twitter.
Right. Let me check. I do apologise if you're listening, because we do greatly appreciate all of your support. I've just got loads of shitty notifications on my Twitter taking up too much room. Let's see. Tony! Thanks a lot, Tony.
And where was Tony from again?
Tony is from Spain.
So Tony in Spain, if you're still listening, give us a shout out. We'd love to hear from you again.
We would.
Contact Jimmy on his Twitter,
which is at Mr. Shepherd. That's MisterShepherd. We've now got a contact form on the website, which we never check. But
I checked it last week.
You checked it?
I haven't checked it this week. I checked it last week.
We were saying that it's about fucking time we made a Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah, we're going to do that.
So we're going to do that. And try and improve our marketing for the site. You know, spread the word. All three of you. We might end up with 4 fans. That'd be nice.
Yeah, that'd be a 20... What would it be? Would that be a
33% increase? Yeah. That'd be great. Because we'd love to be heard by more of you wonderful people. But for now, I'd say that's it. Anything else to say, Christopher, before we depart?
No, I don't think so. Thank you very much for listening. It's been a pleasure as always. It's been lovely to have you here, James.
Yes, thank you for having me.
And... yeah, in the meantime, Enjoy yourselves.
Stay safe. Have fun. Love life. Live it to the fullest.
Yeah.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.